I'm calling the meeting to order. Please stand and join me for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all. First, I need a motion to approve the consent agenda. That has the ASI 23 contract. That is the contract for the change order to the bus barn to finish completion of that project, as we spoke about in our work session. And then the Nabholz Prime contract change order, which is just the acceptance of the completion of the MIS project with all the punches done.
So moved.
It's been moved and seconded. Any questions or discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Need to abstain or recuse? Next, we will be approving the financials for $2,461,754.25, as we're in our January bills and the financial reports that were also contained within your packets.
So moved. I'll move.
It's been moved by Mrs. Green,
Second.
seconded by Mr. Smith. Are there any questions over the financials that have not been priorly asked or addressed? If so, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstaining or recusing? Next, we will approve our minutes from the February 3rd special work session that we had last Tuesday evening here from about 6 to 9:30-ish, roughly.
Just a second.
Yes, sir.
I didn't see the acknowledgement that Andres was there. Do we need a motion
In the minutes,
in the minutes?
he's not a board member. He would be a person of the community, so he wouldn't be listed there.
Okay.
Because it was just an open session of which he just
Okay,
chose
move
to attend.
accept.
It's been moved by Mr. Carroll and seconded by Mr. Lenz. Without any other additions or corrections, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any abstaining? Next, we need to adopt the agenda for the rest of the meeting, I'm assuming as printed. Yes, sir.
So moved.
Yep, I'll second.
It's been moved by Mr. Carroll, seconded by Mrs. Green.
Yeah, we get it, ring.
There will be no additions to it tonight. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Spotlight, Ms. Dillon, if you will make your way up. She's going to be speaking to us about the happenings that are going on the educational side of this building. And please speak up a little bit before you even get started.
Okay. Can you go backwards? All right, so good evening. My name is Jamie Dillon, and I am proud to serve as the Early Childhood Director here at the Tom Butterfield Early Childhood Center. I'm just going to take a few minutes to highlight our early childhood program and some things that we have done so far this year. So back in October, we were fortunate enough that our Marshall Fire Department paid a visit to our school building right outside here, and our team did an outstanding job with our preschool students, teaching them fire safety and providing them tours of the fire truck, and came inside and dressed up in the fire suit and had a teacher put on the fire suit to show them that, you know, they don't have to be scared if they were to come in their house with a fire. Experiences like this help our students feel connected to the community while learning important real-world skills. So in our classrooms here at Early Childhood, our teachers continue to use the Project Construct model, allowing students to learn their purposeful play, and our staff has worked incredibly hard to ensure that our curriculum is fully up to date and aligned with the most current version of the Missouri Early Learning Standards, and this year we've been placing a strong focus on aligning our lessons with the kindergarten observation form standards, helping to ensure our students are truly prepared for the transition to kindergarten. So there's just some pictures of the students in the classroom playing at centers. Our Parents as Teachers program has had an outstanding year with multiple group connections and excellent turnout at those. Families have enjoyed activities such as our Bubbles and Balloons, Tiny Trick or Treat, Cookies and Cocoa, Little Owls Wrestling with our high school wrestling team, and looking ahead, they'll host a bedtime stories at the public library on February 24th, and we'll be partnering with the YMCA next month for a Splish Splash swim class. And these events continue to strengthen the family engagement and build the meaningful connection with our families. And I forgot to mention before about our preschool program. This year, we were lucky to have one of our classrooms receive a CLSD grant for Miss Roeder's full-day classroom. So she was able to use those funds to purchase lots of literacy materials and things, and has been able to attend professional development. So that's been very nice for her classroom. And along with that, we've had two teachers last year and 2 this year that have been attending the Early Childhood Letters program in Warrensburg. So they're getting lots of new knowledge to bring back to the classroom. And out here, we are unique and also have the alternative elementary classroom, which houses kindergarten through 4th grade students. We currently have 9 students in that classroom and try not to hold more than 10. And the structure allows us to focus on helping them learn how to be successful learners and demonstrate appropriate classroom behaviors. With 2 staff members in there providing small group support, we've seen great success this year, transitioning multiple students back to the regular education classroom setting at their ascending buildings. And we hope that that success continues. And looking forward, we're exploring the possibilities of possibly adding an additional full-day preschool classroom, as this is our first year so far with that, and we've seen huge success, and the parents have really liked having that full-day option. With that option, we would be able to serve more students before entering kindergarten, and we send out a staff survey and a public survey. We posted on Facebook and put on Dojo. We've received 37 responses so far, and with those responses, they've indicated that they would be willing to pay $70 weekly for staff children and $110 weekly for non-staff children. Ms. Durham was kind enough to help us figure out a rate that would help at least cover the teacher salary, because with our costs this year, we're not getting that amount to cover the teacher's salary at this point. So to raise those costs to the $70 weekly and $110 weekly, we would need at least 18 students paying $90 a week to pay a teacher's salary. Does that make sense? Okay. So in closing, I just want to say that we're incredibly proud of our students, families, and especially our dedicated staff here at Early Childhood. Their commitment to early learning, continuous improvement, and student success makes a lasting difference every day. Thank you for your support of our Early Childhood program.
Thank you, Mrs. Dillon.
Any
Does anyone
questions?
have any questions? Just beating you to the punch there.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we will pause to see if there's going to be a public comment while our deputy superintendent gets ready to deliver his report as well. The social work team is not able to join us tonight due to some other commitments, so we'll be moving directly to the deputy superintendent report.
Good evening, everyone. I am going to be fairly quick tonight. So we have some friends here from Brookfield that are going to give a little presentation here at the piggybacking off my presentation. So I want to give them plenty of time. So I only have 2 things tonight. Last month I brought for the board the E-rate contracts or the E-rate bids that we got back. Just for our community and anybody watching, E-rate's a federal program that helps reimburse a lot of the technology purchases for public entities such as school districts. So without that money coming in, it'd be tough for a lot of schools to be able to afford a lot of the technology to keep things running. So we're grateful that the E-rate is continually to be funded. So this year, working with CTS, like I presented last month, we have need to update some servers, some switches and access points, mostly in our career center and then the agricultural building, and some throughout this building. So the first contract is through Provision. Basically, everything comes through to about $96,000. Almost $97,000. That's at 80%. We'll get 80% reimbursed, so it's only going to cost the district $19,375. So that contract was, both of those contracts for Provision was in your board packet. And that's on the agenda tonight. There's a second contract that went out, but it really doesn't go out for, it does go out for bid, but we only get one bid because it's MMU, it's for our dark fiber. And I believe they're the only entity that have dark fiber running through the city of Marshall that we can use. So that is for $530 a month. That's been continuous. Then we get 80% reimbursement on that. And that just helps connect all the buildings together to be able to talk through technology. So both of those are in there. The MMU would be a 3-year contract. So just so the board knows about that. So that's number one. That will be on the agenda for your guys' approval tonight. Does anybody have any questions on that? All right. Well, let's get to the kind of the more fun stuff. So since I came to Marshall, this has been a program that I wanted to bring into the district. I have experience with this program. I think it's a really great program. It's program been around in Missouri, I believe, since the 1980s. It's called the JAG program. JAG, it's Jobs for American Graduates. It works with middle school and high school kids. And it is a really great program to give students, kids, opportunities that they wouldn't have otherwise. So it helps kids that are at risk of not graduating on time, economic, family instability, unsure how school connects to the rest of their life, things like that. It's really good, and I'm going to let them explain a lot because they're in the program. They know a lot more about the program, and there's nothing better than that. But we do have at Marshall, we have a need for this program. I truly do believe that to be able to help kids. So let's see, what else do I got here? And this also one of the things that I want to bring up to the Board of Education is a lot of the things JAG does, it is also aligning with our priorities that the board has set, such as graduation rates, your CTE programs, the workforce readiness, and follow-up. So just kind of want to just say that it's driven and it aligns with our career goals. So this is going to be on the agenda tonight. When you guys get that far, it would be a MOU that we would sign, the district would sign with the JAG program in Missouri. We would qualify for at least one $30,000 grant. There's a possibility of two $30,000 grants to be able to fund the program. And then I'm going to turn this over to our friends from Brookfield JAG program. This is Miss Stephanie Berger. She is the JAG specialist, and I'll let them all introduce themselves.
Thank you. Just like he said, we are the JAG program. We are about 65 strong. We have two programs. I'm Stephanie Berger. I do the high school program. Sarah Willis is my counterpart, and she does the alternative program. We brought with you 4 kids who can tell it better than anybody else. Okay. Sarah and I brought you some documents that we're going to pass out and share to talk logistics and dollar values and things like that. But you have to think, if you give kids opportunities, they're going to remember those a whole lot better than they're going to remember a PowerPoint that, as a teacher, she and I would make a PowerPoint. They're not going to remember what's on our PowerPoint. They're going to remember the experiences. I hope I pass those out after all. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, thanks, Lily, for something. Yeah, it's too many for one person. Okay, so JAG in the Brookfield district will look different than the JAG in the Marshall district, which looks different than Marshfield, Missouri, which looks different than Bolivar. Every program that we have is ran by a specialist, and that is not somebody who has a specialist
Thank you
degree,
very
but they
much. I
are a
appreciate it.
teacher or
Thank you,
somebody in the community that can be found that has the values that represent JAG. What they are passing out to you is a brochure which shows you the districts inside that currently have JAG, and most of those are in southern Missouri. And I'm going to let Damien talk to you about what our goal is the Brookfield JAG, and how we plan on impacting the northern region of Missouri that needs it just as much as the southern counties.
Hello, everyone. My name is Damien Gunster. This year, I've had the great pleasure
Hey,
to...
Damien, can I get you to please go to the mic, sir? Your voice sounds great. I just want everybody else to hear it.
Absolutely. So, my name is Damien Gunter. I've had the great pleasure of being the central representative for Missouri JAG this year. It has brought me great experiences and great joy, but it also it gave me the chance to put my skills to use and be able to talk to people I wanted to and be able to connect with people and network. And that's kind of what I want to focus on this year. This year we've had the great opportunity to kind of blend in with the schools around us because being right in the top, we don't have a lot of connection to the southern schools and whatnot. So we got to have a couple of days where kids like me and like all these other kids up here got to experience what it's like to be a part of like leadership days with the Army or just talking to business leaders and stuff like that. We really want to hit on trying to be a part of something bigger than ourselves and trying to work towards something that we think is better for us instead of, I didn't always like school. I'm sure that's the truth for a lot of other students, but, I didn't think I was going to graduate before this program came to my school. I was going to drop out or I was just, I just knew I wasn't going to. This program came and you can see the graduation rate, all that stuff, it's true. It is. Gage right here, he is probably the most important person in my life right now because he gets it. He's one of the people that I met through JAG. He's one of the people that I can hold myself accountable to and say that this is someone else that felt the same thing that I felt, want to be better, want to do good things in our life. So.
That was a great leeway. Nice transition. He didn't even practice.
Thanks for making me blush. But I'm not good with all the JAG facts, but I can say how it helped me. My freshman year, I got invited, and I thought, another class I could sleep in, ignore. But the more I put myself into the class, the more I realized that it's going to be worth it in the long run. I've got to see so many incredible things like going to construction sites, college tours, and I originally wasn't thinking about going to college at all. All I thought is that's one way to go into student debt. But like knowing the benefits and having the right people to help you with like JAG, it showed me that that there's just a lot of opportunities for me. And I'm nervous, a little nervous. But I'm just glad that I had someone to pull me in and show me the way, because I didn't have the best childhood. I had never really had anyone to look up to, and I didn't know what to do and what my next step would be. And when JAG pulled me in, it was just incredible. I got to go to competition. I got to go to Jefferson City. I got to talk to senators and representatives, and I don't think I could have done that without JAG.
Damien, you want to talk about some of the events we do? I brought a very thick packet. This is actually what Sarah and it's almost a document that, I'll post it in a bit. It's a live document that we use between the two classes to keep ourselves on track, and our principal can actually see as well where it is we are. Because in an active JAG program, you're not in the classroom as much as you're probably out of the classroom, okay, providing experiences. So I will let Canyon highlight some of these.
Hello, my name is Canyon. I'd like to point out some of the events, and also I'm going to say what JAG did for me personally. Is I can say, like, my freshman year was when I got like into JAG. I wasn't exactly in it, but I was like an honorary member. I went to the class and everything. I couldn't present. I absolutely couldn't. I can remember at least 5 cases of me having classes where I had to present, and I would take a 0 on the assignment. I wouldn't present. I hated it. And through JAG, I was able to just talk to people, and I mean, it helped me get a job, it helped me join the National Guard, it helped me do everything that I have done in my life to this point. I think I would like to start with the events, and I would like to start with the Build My Future Macon. It's the very top event, and this event is very important to us because it is basically just the starter for new JAG kids. It's how they get an idea of what we're doing, and we get to combine with other JAG programs and just talk to people. It's not forced talking, we just get to. After that, I'd like to talk about the community benefits. Our YMCA has been struggling financially, and we have been raising money and giving them ideas through JAG. It has benefited them in ways I can't explain, and they thank me every time I go to the Y, just because they know I'm a member of JAG. On 10/12, Thursday, you'll see Senate Bill 40. We go there quite often just to help them benefit people of the community. If you go to 10/8, you'll see the Lynn County Animal Shelter, more just helping the community. And another thing that I need to point out is it's student-driven. It's absolutely student-driven. If the student won't put in effort, it won't happen. And JAG is a way to just, it kind of creates the path for you to follow to your future, but the student has to follow that path. On 10/17, you'll see they went to Locust Creek Event Center to help moms breaking the silence. Another benefit would be the mental help. If you go to 11/4, you'll see Jay Todd, motivational speaker. He was there and he basically discussed, it was self-identity issues. Because that is a heavy teen issue. They don't know who they want to be, they're trying to be people they're not, and it just creates mental stress that teens cannot handle. If you go to 12/2, you'll see Brandon Sackery resilience training. That is just, it helps establish skills that are required to be a functioning adult that teens normally wouldn't get until they're late into high school. After that, the most important one to me would be 2/3, which if you go there is a guest speaker from Northwest. This highlights how we have people from colleges come down to just open up the opportunities that JAG students need to know. 2/6 is the nursing program, and this highlights how we can combine with other clubs that are at our school and other program classes to allow just, there was people in there where if I wasn't on that trip with them, I would have never spoken to them ever. Some of my friends I have met on JAG trips, and they live in completely different towns that I would have never gone to. And then also through JAG, I have been able to go to multiple state competitions. Currently, I am also an FBLA, and through studying, I am the state champion in accounting, and I got 3rd place as districts for like advanced accounting. And then I am also financial literacy and financial budget. I will be going to state for JAG.
Hi, I'm Lily Willis. She's my mom, actually. And I just joined JAG this year, and it's helped me, like, understand that I can do things that I didn't realize that I could, like, actually be able to plan myself. I joined the National Guard right before school started, and I thought that since I did that, well, then I'm fine. But I thought that, like, I had to go to college. But JAG's helped me realize that there's more than just that, and there's different options out there, and I'm now planning to, after my training, go to EMT schooling and get that certification, and I've gotten job shadows and stuff that JAG has helped me with, and we've had guest speakers that have helped me through JAG and yeah, I don't really know what I'm saying, but and the student driven part of JAG has helped a lot. Actually, today's a great example. I'm still in my scrubs because I work at a nursing home, and I have flex in the morning, so I go there in the morning. Then I have my health class in the afternoon, so I go there in the afternoon. I only have JAG and yearbook class, and today in JAG we had a trip there, and I actually organized the whole trip because we went to my nursing home, the one I work at. And I planned a trip there to go play bingo with the residents, and we brought them a little Valentine's gift with us that we created through class this last week. We made little bows and stuff and just cute little Valentine's Day things to go with it, and they really enjoyed it. And I didn't think I would be able to plan a field trip for a whole class on my own. Definitely did not think that, but I did it on my own, and it wasn't that hard. And I definitely wouldn't think that last year I would not have been able to come just willingly speak to you guys. I would have been like, no, I'm not going to that. But after going through JAG classes and talking at different things, it's helped me to just get out there. And along with the EMT thing, there's lots of competitions in JAG, and one of them is Job Outlook or something like that is what the title is. And I am doing a slideshow as to why I want to be an EMT, and I am going to go to state in it. I made it to state, and it's just showed me that really is possible since I made it further than I thought I would. I didn't think I would make it fast, but yeah.
Well, that's my daughter, and I'm super proud, and I have to tell you that's the loudest I've heard her speak in a long time, other than calling the bingo numbers today at the nursing home. I wanted to talk to you for just a quick moment to say one of the catchphrases we use in my classroom, and I know in Ms. Berger's classroom, and I've heard it at JAG State, is in JAG we can do hard things, because most of our students, actually all of our students have what we call barriers, obstacles that they're facing of various levels of complexity, right? But in JAG, we can do hard things. These guys standing in front of you right now, I've taught all of them, and I'm a history teacher as well. And I've had them all in my history classes. Last year, I would have said, they're gonna do what? No, they're not, they won't, I can't, they don't turn in work, they don't wanna speak in class, they don't ask questions. I can tell you the difference between my JAG students and my students that haven't had that support, that system, that opening of their eyes, right? I wanted to talk to you also about teacher retention. It's a really scary topic in the state of Missouri, right? It's a scary topic in the United States, honestly. I'm in my 15th year of public education, and this is my first year as a JAG specialist, and I have never experienced the reward that I experience in JAG. Sorry, I'm going to get a little emotional. It's what I wanted teaching to be from the beginning, and I never had the opportunity or the time, maybe is the right way to say it. I am a history teacher also, and so I have certain criteria and curriculum that I must hit and we want to achieve, and we want to be ready for those EOC tests at the end, right? And that government EOC, and we want to pass the Missouri Constitution test and the U.S. Constitution test and our citizenship test. That's all very important. And as a teacher, it's important, and I feel like history is important and civics are important, and that gave my life value. But as a JAG specialist, already this year, I've had so many more rewarding moments, so many more connections, personal connections with these students, real moments that I know that took that student from this veering off pathway to this pathway. And you can, as Gage said, I didn't know what I wanted to do. As Damien said, I was gonna drop out. These students in front of you, and I can bring any of my 27 students from my classroom, from my program, they can tell you what their next step is. And that's monumental for this generation, it really is. And JAG does that. JAG does that more than any other program that I've had experience with. So I think it's crucial, and it really should be in every public school system that's in the state of Missouri, because it gives just one more opportunity to one more kid. And if we can get to one more kid every day, I just can't even imagine the amount of change that will take place with that. So that's what JAG is to me. Ms. Berger?
I feel like they summed it up pretty well. I want you to realize these are some of my brightest kids. I have 25% of the brightest kids in the school. I have 50% of the middle and 25% of the lowest academic. These are not just low academic kids. These are kids that, number one, would or would not like school. Some do, some don't. Some we're lucky they come every day. Some they only come because of JAG. Okay? On days that we go on field trips, they show up. You know, if we have stipulations where you got to show up, we have attendance parties. If you can pull off 2 full weeks in the month of February coming to school, and that's hard to do in the month of February. It's cold and we all get sick. We're going to have a reward party at one of our local brand new businesses in Brookfield. So it's a way for us to promote that local business, the new business. It's like gaming and arcades and things like that. But we're networking with that business to give them some promotion. The kids can Snapchat all this great stuff and use their social media that I don't know. And it'll publicize our business as well. So we connect with local businesses to promote them while preparing the kids that are going to either A, work there, or they're going to run their own one day.
Thank you all very much. Appreciate it.
Yep.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Berger and Ms. Willis, as well as Damian Gage and the other two. I did not catch their names. I'm so sorry. Ms. Willis's daughter.
Yeah, I truly appreciate you all
I
coming.
saw you had a name tags, though.
And, you know, for our board and for the information, you guys did an awesome job. I just want to tell the board, when every one of those students walked in here, they came in, they looked me in the eye, and they shook my hand. And that's something to be said about. And I know how hard it is to stand up in front of adults and present. And you guys did a fantastic job. So thank you very much. Appreciate it. You guys,
Thank you.
Go have a good dinner somewhere.
Thank you.
Safe travels back to Brookfield. Thank you.
So that gives a quick snapshot of the JAG program, but it is very, as you can see, it benefits a lot of kids. And does anybody have any questions?
Apparently Jack did.
So my understanding is it's a class during the school day,
It
basically?
is.
Okay.
Yes, yeah, we put it in, it's in the school day. So
Okay.
there's a lot of variations you can do that, how you build it into the schedule. It has a lot of leadway.
Okay.
But yes.
Okay.
Are we looking at this being a high school or something through the
Starting
Career
in the
Center?
high
I thought?
school, probably hybrided a little bit between the Career Center and the high school. So, but it would be your secondary level, your 9 through 12 level.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. We will next move on to our superintendent report for the evening and a guest that he's going to introduce.
Yeah, I'll start with Derek Bonsack is with us here this evening. I want to just say hello to him and introduce him to our Board of Education here. Derek, you all hired Derek as our new athletic director last month. Thank you.
Derek, if we can get you to come up here just real quick so those at home can get a good eye on you if they haven't recognized you in the community, Walmart in town, anywhere else around.
That way they can.
We're a small community.
There.
You've probably
Yeah.
seen him somewhere.
But thank you to him for coming out and joining us. I think he's been the man of the hour since the announcement of his hiring. And,
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate him taking the time to come out and meet you all tonight. So thanks for being here. I also have a short report, and I'm going to apologize in advance. I hope I have enough voice to get through it. She was talking about February attendance, and I thought today would have been a good day not to be here, but I had a board report to do, so here we are. Just got a little cold. So we have our quarterly financial review this month, and I really only have just a few quick slides. But first, a financial update, a review of some of the business we conducted in our recent work session, and then a preview of a few action items later on. So we have a revenue and expenses report here so far this year. This is our quarterly report. And the long story short, this information is leading up to where are we with regard to our deficit that we had in our budget this year. With regard to revenue, we have received about 43% of what we expected to have at this point. Our county taxes and local efforts are all looking pretty good. And then with regard to our expenses and what we're spending, we have spent about 51% of what we expected to spend by now. So our spending's frugal, our revenue's on track, and that's good because if you might recall, we anticipated last budget approval season around June that we were probably going to be between $1 and $2 million deficit. What we anticipate based on our mid-year numbers, conservatively still, is that we should have that down to more like $1 million deficit. I hope it's better than that, but I don't want to overpromise and underdeliver. And that's what we said last year. We really thought that we might be able to flush up that deficit. A few curveballs and challenges making that harder along the way, but we wouldn't know what to do or trust it if it was easy. But we are making good progress, and we've anticipated this. We prepared for it for some time. And, if you look at the last 4 years in review, and I think our board is very well informed about this after long work sessions like we had last week, but for the public's sake, just looking at Southeast, we have some good numbers on when we sold Southeast and merged it, which was the first school we closed. We know that it has conservatively saved the district $1 million since it closed in terms of efficiencies. All of the ESSER money, the COVID money that we reworked for the first year or so that we all were together, we saved, reallocated well over $1 million there that we may have had some struggles with the way it was spent, and that was basically how we paid for the building that we're sitting in. That didn't come out of building district funds, that came out of ESSER funds that were reallocated. And then in terms of arbitrage, the word we've been using since we realized back in 2022, 2023 that we needed to start pinching pennies and thinking long term. As people have resigned, retired, moved on, and buildings have closed, no one to date has been laid off or anything through that rechanneling into one place, reducing the need for multiple kitchen, multiple secretaries, et cetera, et cetera. We have somewhere around $2.3 million. I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm reading the line below it. Arbitrage first is that is the money that we got when we passed our bond. And we, as a tax-exempt entity, are only allowed to earn so much interest. Well, we passed our bond at a time that interest rates were really good if you were borrowing. And so then we got that money all at once, put it in the bank, and it was really good if you were investing too. So we were probably going to have to pay the IRS some penalties as a tax-exempt entity through some creativity and a lot of really good financial advisors that we brought on board. We avoided $2.3 million in arbitrage payments. And then to what I was starting to talk to, getting ahead of myself, the $1.3 million in staff attrition, not arbitrage, attrition, where we reduced our staff without using layoffs. We just, as we lost people, we moved folks around and we reduced our staffing naturally. $1.3 million in staff attrition we've achieved annually so far. And then so on and so forth. Long story short, $5.85 million that we reallocated in the last 4 years. And despite that fact, we still have $1 million deficit. But thank goodness we started 4 years ago, or it would be a very different conversation right now. Now, I said I'd talk about our work session, especially for the public's sake. I think it's important for them to know what you all were here working on so late into the evening last week. About 9:30, everybody got out of here last week. We released construction contingencies that's specific to building Marshall Intermediate School, our new elementary school, open this year. It was under budget, specific to these contingencies, as the contract called them. That was for the unexpected things like tunnels, which we expected many of. We found many of, but not as many as was, the concern. So the board released those contingencies that were remaining of $987,000, and then the board approved in that work session this change order, or ASI 23, that'll represent the completion of the new bus barn for $600,000. So we said release the 987, spend 600 is what we did. And then, as you approved in your consent agenda tonight, we have the substantial completion of the Marshall Intermediate School. It's behind us, and everything here forward will be like a change order like the ASI 23. What would we do to finish up all this construction? With regard to the bus barn project, that should wrap up March, April timeframe. That is what we've approved for $600,000. I have a lot of blanks because they're question marks and they remain to be seen. But according to our long-range facility plans, we are optimistic that we'll be finishing a secure vestibule at the high school and BMS. We want to do some roofs and a gym floor at SPS, restrooms at SPS this summer. And then we're talking to Booster and our new athletic director and hoping that we can work with them to do some locker rooms, some tennis courts, possibly weight room projects. And then the big thing, the pie in the sky, as I always call it, because we just have no idea for at least another year. We sure hope we're talking about turf football fields and turf soccer fields, but we don't know. Because as we sit here tonight, we think we have around $1.25 million left in our construction funds, but all those blanks very easily will swallow that up and a lot more. And so we just have to get to the end of the projects that we're in and then prioritize according to our long-range facility plan. I don't know if we can get all of those things done, but according to our long-range facility plan, those are the goals that we need to focus on. What we can proudly say that we've accomplished is our security goals for the district have really hugely improved, security district-wide in terms of secure glass and vestibules, et cetera, et cetera. Our building envelopes, roofs, windows, doors, restrooms in the high school's case, we've upgraded most of them. We'd like to do some more, but the worst ones were addressed and the busiest ones. And then we've got a lot of things done at SPS, lights, doors, glass, windows, keyless entry, et cetera. So that's, again, the board knows all this stuff really well. They probably fell asleep 4 minutes ago because they've spent so much time helping to accomplish it. But I just want to emphasize it for the sake of the public. Last thing, and I've had some questions about it in the public because people are seeing some movement over there, and this is not being decided tonight, but being discussed. We have the Four Square House, used to be called the Hoot House, out on the northeast campus next to the Tudor House. We've had building traits working in there quite a lot this year. Construction has used it for an office since the start of our construction project. That saved us about $1,200 a month that they didn't have to bring in a trailer for an office space. And we hope our next step will be this summer, and that depends on all the variables. We hope that we will be renting that out as a residence for the short term, and then someday, who knows what that will be used for. It could be office space again. You just never know what the future may hold. So we have 3 rental management companies in our community: Tower Realty, Simply Realty, and Best Life Property. And I've just gotten some soft figures and numbers, and I'm bringing this to the board and getting it out there for the public. We'll pay somewhere between 5 and 15% monthly percentages for those to be managed, and we believe that that house can rent somewhere between $1,350 and $2,000 a month. So, long story short, to the public, that's what's going to happen with it, and we believe that the house's remodeling will pay for itself in about 3 years. It's already earned $43,000 to date, and it'll probably cost, I'm shooting really high there, I hope I'm shooting really high there. It may cost as high as, say, $100,000 for remodeling, but that would only take, at those new rates, it would only take 2-3 years maximum to pay for even the remodel. So I think one of the great advantages that the house has is somebody lives there during the summer, is there at nights. We had a little bit of problem with things happening out on that campus in the summer months and at night when the weather's nice, and some proximity with the people being there at all the time, as well as the bus barn being there. Buses come in and go out from 5 in the morning till sometimes very, very late at night. So that's what all the movement is out at the northeast campus with that residence, and the board will need to decide who's going to manage it, and then I hope that we rent it out by this summer. And it looks like we probably will be able to. Construction, remodeling, et cetera, is all moving pretty fast. So that is everything that I have for you tonight that kind of covers the old and new and what's next.
Thank you, Mr. Pettit. Most of you all heard all that, of course, last week at our work session, but we also wanted to make sure that we shared that out to the community so that you knew where our business is going and remain as transparent as we've been and accountable to the community. Moving into new business, the first thing we need to approve is the substitute teacher list. which was in your packet, is identifiable by name, so we will be voting on it as a whole list. And I need a motion to approve that. It's been moved by Mr. Carroll and seconded by Mrs. Staley. All those, is there anyone that has anybody on that list that they're related to? By 4 degrees of separation. You all laugh, but 4 degrees is what the state says that we have to make sure that we are not related to somebody by when we're voting on approvals, contracts, hiring decisions and such, so. All right. Without that being said, all those in favor of approving the substitute list as presented, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Need to abstain or recuse? Next, we heard from the Brookfield JAG program about the wonderful things it's done for the students there, keeping them in school, keeping them engaged, giving them new experiences. Sounds like a wonderful opportunity to bring to some of our students here in Marshall that'd be willing to join that program, another outlet for them as well. Mr. Rinke outlined the $30,000 that we can surely get as a grant to help put this program off the ground here in Marshall for students, and potentially a second $30,000 grant that we will be working towards as well. Does anyone have any questions other than the fact there's a lot of material I know we didn't get to read, but we will later? Mr. Lenz, yes, sir.
Mr. Pettit, just in as few words as possible, an MOU is a two-way street. What are we responsible for in an MOU, and what are they responsible for?
I'll let David field it if I miss any of this, because he knows this world better than I do, but we have to be compliant with the terms of the grant, would be my assumption.
So the number of kids, and it's in the MOU that was in your board packet, the number of kids that are in the program, I don't have that right in front of me, but I think it was at least 35 you need in the program. And then the tracking of the kids is so important. So the graduation rate, their post-secondary plans, and it kind of follows along with the career and technical education world, the follow-up, and they follow up a year and then 2 years afterwards on those kids, and then all the reporting that goes into the program to see where it's at. So basically, they give us the funding, and then we need to show them the results.
So we do all the tracking of it?
We do all the tracking, yes. Yep, and then we report that, yes. And it's actually, it doesn't go, this is not, this program is not through DESE. Of course, they support it, but it is, it goes through another state entity, so.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
I was going to say those graduation rates are something that we also already currently track, so some of that will be a little bit of redundant work for us. But I think the number in there said we had to track 95% of the students that were leaving that program, so the follow rate is very high in there as well. So it will definitely be an undertaking to make sure, because 95% of 30 kids, is you're only going to miss 1 or 2. So. Does anybody have any other questions? Sorry, sir.
I move we accept the program.
Yeah, I second.
It's been approved by Mr. Carroll and seconded by Mrs. Green. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstaining or recusing? The next thing is to approve the 2027 EPEG funding contract. All that is that the E-rate contracts that Mr. Rinke spoke to us about, of which I forgot what our number was. I was going to ask, where are all those Aruba hubs going to be going? It was like 200 of them, I thought, in that contract?
So, yeah, it's going to be mostly the Career Center, mostly the agricultural building, and then we're going to be replacing through here. So.
Okay. And those are just to help us get our wireless networks back up in the building?
Those are all, I believe, the access points.
The access points in the building? That's what I thought. Okay.
Make a motion we approve. Oh, second.
It's been moved by Mr. Carroll and seconded by Mr. Smith. All those in favor of approving the contract as presented, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed or abstaining? Thank you. Next, there'll be some first readings, no action to be taken here. The pre-K tuition rates, Ms. Dillon talked about those as well. Looking at an additional full-day pre-K class, that would be dependent a little bit on financial contribution. It sounds like you had plenty of interest in that. It'll just be kind of looking at how that's going to work out, and I'm sure you all find in a little building space to have another class all day instead of 2 half-day classes as well. So, and then the 4 square house rental which is the house that is on the northern campus, or the campus adjacent to the MIS building out in that area. So, second reading tonight, we had various policies. I'm not going to read all those. They are A through M for you there. Okay. And so we will take action on those policies next month. Please be sure to review those. At this time, then, we would be looking to entertain a motion to move to closed session for talking about hiring, firing, disciplining, or promoting of particular employees and identifiable personnel records as well.
So moved.
It's been moved by Mrs. Staley and seconded by Mr. Smith.
Get that part of the room involved.
Tie goes to the runner.
I will start over here with Mrs. Staley.
Aye.
Mr. Carroll?
Aye.
Mr. Lentz?
Aye.
And I will be moving to closed session. And Mr. Shepherd had an engagement with his children this evening. He did let me know he was not going to be here, but gave me some input before he came. So thank you.